right. Grand Rising, everyone. It is Shay Seeking, and welcome back. So, again, I don't know. I'm going to have to check my YouTube channel, but I don't know. I think that, I don't know what happened. Something might have happened overnight, possibly. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not used to braids this jumbo, so it's just been a little hard. And basically, I just rolled up out of bed and came out here to the sunroom, and this is what you get, okay? I ain't did nothing yet, but yeah. So I just wanted to go ahead and read this because I want to go ahead and get through these things that I was trying to get into last night. So, okay. So we're back in John 7, or is this 8? 8. Okay, it's 8. And I think we left off at 28, so we'll just start there. So it said, so Yeshua said, when you have killed the Messiah, okay, so Yeshua is not the Messiah, or Yeshua, the Messiah may be a persona of Yeshua, right? So either that's a persona or you know how you like have to kill off your ego or kill off a certain part of you sometimes, or that can happen, right? So I'm thinking like it's either talking about something like that. Again, this is not your mama's Bible study, right? Because we know that this story lies. So we are, again, just taking a different approach when we're looking at the text. So remember, I'm never here to tell you what it is or what it ain't. I'm simply sharing what it looks like to me. All right? And you have to use your own discernment, to see what we're saying. All right? It's either going to resonate or it's not. So, yeah. So then you will realize that I am He. Okay? And I would, like I said, always break down these words, study these words, especially He, because again, there could be a feminine energy as well that are attached to these He's and His. Yeah, then you'll realize that I am He and that I have not been telling you my own ideas. And then again, if, like I said, if a source is using a woman's or a female's vessel, right, to walk this plane, then she could be a he. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna use that he or his energy as well, because we're speaking through the energy. So my mouth would become his mouth. Then you will realize that I am He and that I have not been telling you my own ideas, but have spoken what the Father taught me. And He who sent me is with me. He has not deserted me. For I always do those things that are pleasing to Him. Then many of the Jewish leaders who heard Him say these things began believing Him to be the Messiah. Oh, okay, so yeah, so then they started to believe Him to be the Messiah. But it's just saying that Jesus said, when you have killed the Messiah. You see what I'm saying? So, ooh. So again, to kill off a portion, right? I don't know why I'm thinking like twin flame or some kind of connection like that as well. So again, when they cut off that portion, right? Why am I thinking sealed portion? Maybe we need to pull that out today. Then somebody's going to realize something. But again, that energy will be fluid through Yeshua, if we're even looking at like the Christ energy. Because if they are one, wouldn't they be in each other's likeness? right? But if you kill off the Messiah portion, right? Or cut it off for a while, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So Jesus said to them, "You are truly my disciples if you live as I tell you, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." But we are descendants of Abraham, they said, and have never been slaves to any man on earth. What do you mean, set free? Yeshua replied, "You are slaves of sin, every one of you, and slaves don't have rights, but the Son has every right there is. And the Son is the descendant, male or female. It's almost like me saying, how is someone that is on stolen land going to tell people that originate on that land, once they find out who they are, what they need to do to be who they are? So again, we're going to look up what the stewards are. We're going to look at the term steward and see actually what it means here. And to see if all this movement that's going on while they're holding down the sun, when it comes to documents and trust and treasury and who has the right to bear arms or own land. I want to look into it some more. So if the Son sets you free, you will indeed be free. So again, I think the Son is going to be connected to the Spirit. It's going to be, connected to the Great Spirit, to Source, to the universe, right? Where again, there's going to be the Son of Man, which would be, again, conducting things and using his might and his power in law in order to get things across. But Source said, why don't they focus on that what is natural, right? When it comes to a form of natural law, why do they always go to man's law to combat the holy ones? So again, the Son sets them free, and then they use the law against the Son. Or they choose not to. Yes, I realize that you are descendants of Abraham, and yet some of you are trying to kill me because my message does not find a home within your hearts. I'm telling you what I saw when I was with the Father. But you are following the advice of your father. Our father is Abraham, they declared. No, Yeshua replied, for if he were, you would follow his good example. But instead you are trying to kill me. And all because I told you the truth I heard from God. Abraham wouldn't do a thing like that. No, you are obeying your real father when you act that way. They replied, we were not born out of wedlock. So again, we talk. Oh, I'm gonna have to put the video back up. See, now I'm remembering all the videos that we need to put back up. Cause it was just hard. It was so hard, and like I can't find my mouse, so it takes like forever. So again, out of wedlock. This also, you know, if I can remember, has something to do with, you know, people think that we're just talking about matrimony in one way or a marriage in one way. But again, it also has to do with, what is it? Whether you were born, when you tied to, like a corporation, right? Or you had not been a citizen. You see what I'm saying? So people that were born natural births at home, you know, on their land and stuff like a long time ago, and they weren't connected to their parents, probably weren't connected to the governing forces. They were just free people. So again, to get you to go with that, again, the whole voting thing led you away from your entitlement to your land, sometimes severed ties to tribal, you know. So those are the kind of things. So like out of wedlock would have been you still, is it autonomy? Autochthonous? Right? So the wedlock also, then you go into what is native, right? Which would be the offspring of the earth, right? So again, so yeah, wedlock, like I'm saying, is also, it's not just like, oh, somebody got a marriage or whatever. Somebody got married, like how we see it today. It was like your ties and connection to the overseers or the the Lord or the president, right? How did you play a part? Even as a minor or a minority. It's almost like you being a child, not of God, but of the governing forces. And this is why I feel they don't like those that bear truth if it goes against what society says or what man's law says. But no one talks about the commandments or these other particular laws that are even sometimes hard for me to remember or really understand in this text. The ones that are more important. You have to actually find them, seek them out. You see what I'm saying? So Yeshua told them, if that were so, then you would love me, for I have come to you from God. I am not here on my own, but he sent me. Why can't you understand what I'm saying? It is because you are prevented from doing so. For you are the children of your father, the devil. You know what? And it's funny that thing, like how this says here, prevented. Yeah, this made me think like, what? They're prevented. But it's just like almost like, even in a sense like bound, or it's like this person knows that you have been restricted, right? Or that you can, you know what I'm saying? That there's some kind of disconnect there, right? like you've been, this entity knows that you've been cut off or restricted or altered or something, right? Because I mean, when you say prevented, it makes you think like, okay, this person was at one time, but something happened here. And usually, it makes me think about like somebody's personal preference or somebody's something that what could be something that prevents them as well. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, sorry, y'all need to see the part. For you are the children of your father, the devil, and you love to do evil things. The evil things that he does, okay? He was a murderer from the beginning. And a hater of truth. There is not an iota of truth in him. When he lies, it is perfectly normal. Sounds like the construct to me. And this is how they can use the whole construct in order to target chosen ones or, anyone. Because laws are lies. So when I say the whole thing got to fall, right? Or let's look at some of these things again, right? Let's break them down some more, right? I can tell, right? They don't like me saying I listen to what source say, right? Nah, they don't like that. Then they'll say, oh, I'll use my law or my lie to show you that I can try to come for you or your children, your household. Let me show you my tools and all of my equipment that I can use to persecute you. Even that born out of wedlock, it's almost making me think like born not being connected to this, right? When I was birthed, I was not in this. Ooh, even just making me think about the term black as a misnomer. But then the president is saying like all Americans. And it's like me knowing when I was born into this mentality or this way that feeling free or like, yeah, that's there, but that's not me. I am who I say I am. I'm not who they said that I am. And then to realize I am that I am. So it's just like for he is the father of lies. And it made me think about how many laws do we have? How many bills? How many codes? How many people even understand this? How many people break them down? What do we have them for? If don't nobody understand what we're talking about, I'm seeing people mad about the Bible. You mad about the 10 Commandments? Even though I know it's more than that, right? People just even salty about the 10 Commandments compared to these laws and the legislation and all these other things that people put into place that don't benefit anyone, really? And nobody really can even name you one bill probably off the top of their head and what it actually really means down to the deep details. You see? So it made no sense. That's the author of confusion. Listen, the 10 Commandments is what it is. At least it's just what it is. It's right up in your face what it is. Even if we said, you know what, let's get rid of all these. You know, we can have codes and we have certain things but let's get rid of all these. We're just gonna follow this. Everybody gonna do it, right? Everybody in the land is gonna do that. Till we figure out a better way to lay these things down, because it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. And even the law, I think they know what it really means, but they can act like they don't know what it, because it's the whole legalese thing. So who is it benefiting? At the end of the day. It seems like it's actually just to protect the very people that have been liars from the beginning. They need that. They need that to protect them, to continue to deceive you. And I say these are like powers that shouldn't be. It has nothing to do with race. It's got to do with people doing right and people doing wrong. Or people knowing very well, and then they need to be able to control the narrative so they can then control the people or the nation, right? Anyone whose father is God, Anyone whose father is God listens gladly to the word of God. Since you don't, it proves you aren't his children. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get delighted. And it hasn't always been that way. It hasn't. And I know people complain, like even with my videos, I'm trying to keep them like to an hour, right? But what else? I mean, how long did it take for us to be indoctrinated to misinterpret the word? So how much, you know what I'm saying? It would have to be in you. And that's just what it is. It would have to just be in you to do right. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that this is right, because you could do the same thing, like I said, on your own, just breaking it down on your own. Oh, these braids about to get to me. Okay, y'all. And it says, you'll be gladly to the words of God. Since you don't, it proves you aren't his children. You Samaritans, foreigner, devil. The Jewish leaders snarled. Didn't we say all along you were possessed by a demon? Yee, there's the vilifying. Don't it sound like how they talking about Afghanistan? Didn't we say that we shouldn't have never went in there in the first place? Didn't we say that we was in there 20 years? Didn't we say that this was going to happen? Didn't we say that this was going to happen? They are doing it now. They are trying to set the stage for an execution. To cut off the nation. The Jewish, kind of like, in the likeness of a Jew. And what is a Jew? Is a Jew a Hebrew? So when someone is accused of something, the truth, then it's, didn't we say, okay, now we have to, we're going to raise our hand. We're going to use our lies or our laws. Now, I didn't say that we couldn't possibly benefit from laws. You just need to recognize what they are. And many people don't understand what they mean, and that's just the people that are using them in order to persecute people. Nobody really questions it. Nobody really knows why you, with the Bible and everything, right? And they ask you if you understand, you stand under. And you say yes. Whatever. I wonder if it, because I said if I go, I'm just gonna do it. When they ask me, do I understand? No. So it's just, I don't know. What would happen at that moment then? You see? No, Jesus said, I have no demon in me, for I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. And you dishonor me. And though I have not wished to make myself great, God wants this for me, and judges those who reject me. With all the earnestness I tell you this, no one who obeys me shall ever die. The leaders of the Jews said. Now, this part, I don't know, it's leaning heavy on me again in the aspect of I don't really see. I don't know why I see like divine masculine. Because I feel like, and fem, it's like a duality here. I feel like the world wants him to think that she has something wrong with her and he should treat her away. And then also, the closer the connection comes, it's as if I should fear. So it's like, don't trust, right? Like trust issues with her. She's this, she's that. But it's not even the case. And the closer I get to source and the closer I get to Yeshua, the more complete and clean. I don't know, it's like a cleansing something. It's just a natural something. And then also because it's like almost seems like that safeguard, maybe not even the guardian or to guard your heart, right? But that shield of protection, even in the part when they were about to throw the stones and he said, okay, but you see what I'm saying? But yeah. And again, being in that energy of wisdom or the Holy Spirit and that the world is trying to attack, verbally, physically, emotionally. And then, okay, for that feminine energy to want to depend on that masculine energy, but the masculine energy might be busy with idols. That doesn't mean that he's, you know what I'm saying? Because we got work to do. But I mean, the energy is there when you need. But then again, like I said, the closer you get, then it's like the rest of the world is trying to say, don't trust. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you should fear this person, right? Or they don't understand why you keep on allowing something. But I tell you, today I don't even trust what people say out of their, okay, not like say out of their, like I'm talking to you right now, but I'm talking about like pre-recorded things. Mm-mm. Like, I don't know. I just, for me, I don't know. I can't really trust everything that's like pre-recorded or recorded or something because, mm, especially when it's coming from a certain place. Because people can make something sound like anything, and it may not even be what the person is really saying or thinking. It may be somebody doing something and it's their job title. It's what they do for a living. So that's why you have to know the heart or the spirit of the individual, even testing the individuals. Because again, these days you never know what, it's a lot of stuff going on. You never know what's coming your way. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like it is very important to go within, because that is like, we don't need these words. We're just showing something here, right? But it's very important to have that, because no matter what, when I go here, when I, you know what I'm saying, think about these things, it's this that I feel doesn't lie. And I don't know. It's almost like that die for me energy, because the world is going to make that feminine energy feel that way against her masculine, especially if they are going to be that, right? And so it's at the point now I can kind of see where that comes from, like that trust, that walking off of a cliff or something, and it's just like, well, damn, I guess it's just a do or die. I guess we'll see. Because for me, when it comes to the energy of Yeshua, or even Horus, or, you know what I'm saying, it just, right? I don't know. I feel that, like, not like that they have to have my protection, but I do think the Ruach or the Holy Spirit or wisdom is very important to the divine masculine. And even since that protection, she's that kind of like that eye. And it's almost like the main thing worried about him. And it's just, I think in my sleep, you know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. So like, it really, when is it Ra? No, who was it? They got cut up into the pieces, and the wife went and gathered the pieces. And also, it just makes me think about like little, like many pieces of me. Not me, but I'm just saying, like, that term. Even sensing when it comes to discerning the different pieces of divine masculine. And I'm not talking about like a split personality or bipolar or any kind of energy like that. I'm just talking about like, I can kind of see a difference. I just think there's more things going on here than we think. Right? Because again, I can see myself in other individuals too. And then it shows me that there must be some kind of connect there. I don't know. It's just I just see it, okay? Because it's like I said, I'm dealing with like energy of people these days because looks can be deceiving, honey. Okay. The leaders of the Jews said, "Now we know you're possessed by a demon. Even Abraham, the mightiest prophet, died. Abraham and the mightiest prophets died, and yet you say that obeying you will keep a man from dying. So you are greater than our father Abraham." So again, I don't know, because we're using the term die, and prophets speak truth. And again, so prophets get cut off. You see what I'm saying? Socially, right? Jailed, right? Before they can say too much, right? It's how it works, right? Is it how it's worked all this time, correct? Yet the public, for some reason, can't see. They can't read between the lines. Oh, it's always too late. And then they go on being in a confused state. They go in being a confined state, a controlled, right? A conquered, right? And they blame God for these curses when you do it to yourself every time. Because you don't understand and you don't want to. You love the things of this world. What does it say? You Samaritan, foreigner, devil. So again, some of these feminine energies, right, working for their father, the devil, right, are coming against their jealous, envious ways because I keep bringing up what it is. They get mad. And so they use all of their arsenal to come at me. And they get mad when it doesn't work because I'm dealing with source. And they come even harder. And I'll tell you, I cannot wait until the day. Source has a way, a sense of humor in a way. How is there going to be a time for war and there's no warrior in his children? So it says, so you are greater than our father, Abraham, who died. So again, are we talking a physical death? Are we talking a legal death? Are we talking being cut off from being a nation socially? Because if somebody can stop your flow and your increase on your whatever it would be, if we're in a digital, especially if we're in a digital era. Who do you think you are? Then Yeshua told them this: if I am merely boasting about myself, it doesn't count. But if it is my Father and you claim him as your God, who is saying these glorious things about me? Who is saying these glorious things about me? But you don't even know him. Hold on, let me see. Okay. But it is my Father, and you claim him as your God, who is saying these glorious things about me. But you don't even know him. I do. If I said otherwise, I would be as great as I'll be a great liar as you. But it is true. I know him and fully obey him. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see to see my day. He knew I was coming and was glad. The Jewish leaders, you aren't even 50 years old. Sure, you've seen Abraham. Yeshua, I don't know why they have it in italics here. Okay, let's stop. Okay, they have the Jewish leaders in italics, right? You aren't even 50 years old. Sure, you've seen Abraham. I guess this is mocking somebody, possibly. Yeshua is in italics, right? And then it says, the absolute truth is that I was in existence before Abraham was ever born. Whoo, look, honey, we got to be dealing with something now. We got to even be dealing with wisdom. We got to be dealing with something that was, Ooh, okay, hold on. At that point, the Jewish leaders picked up stones to kill him, but Yeshua was hidden from them and walked past them and left the temple. That is the exact energy that I feel when I speak those particular things about anything. We could talk about anything but the fact that an autochthonous one is telling you how it is. Nobody wants to hear that. I think the native nations don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. I think the G7 and all these other things, they do not want to hear that. They want to ignore that. And they want to say, is it documented? Well, there it is. I have spoken it and it is done. And I feel like we definitely see what's going on here, but it's just people are trying to figure out which way they can go about what they're going to try to go, what evil they're going to try to go about doing it. Doing. I think we're going to go ahead and break down the serpent this week too. Because we really only talk about the serpent a couple times, then it turns to the devil and Lucifer and all these other terms. But the oldest and wisest. So I see that vilifying energy there. When really, was there any lie? Or was it that the truth heard it? You surely die. But you will not die that death. And they ate it, and then their eyes was open. What? But they saw the fruit. They saw it. They saw it was this. They saw it was that. They ate it, and then their eyes was open? Well, how the hell did they see it? Oh, hold on. 9. As he was walking along, he saw a man blind from birth. So you birth a nation, have it be blind. Oh my goodness, y'all. Come on. Let's see. Because birthing doesn't just mean just somebody that, you know what I'm saying, delivered a baby. right? There's, well, not ships this time, but planes, right? No, but birthing docks, yeah, right now, probably at the southern so-called border. Also, like being reborn or born again. You know what I'm saying? So he saw a man blind from birth and said, so this remind me of a bound or binding energy, a blinding energy. Even like the sun can blind someone. Mm. Master, his disciples asked him, why was this man born blind? Could you imagine being blind while you're birthing a nation? You know, does blind also have something to do with like shut eye or sleep, or even when God was asleep in Genesis? Was it a result of his own sin or those of his parents? So again, if the parents aren't leading the children because they're too busy stealing from them and blinding them, or maybe even feeding them candy with blades in them, sweet to the tongue, bitter to thy belly, or, right? It's almost like these messages here, it's pleasant, but there's some parts that's gonna cut you. And even when it comes to that movie Candyman, the woman kind of like needed him in a sense, and she kind of birthed him. And, you know, like bees and nature. I guess the bees could be used to destroy the earth, because if they don't have the if we don't have bees, then we are probably not going to have anything eventually. So it's not like they're doing the attack, but you know, the them not being around is going to harm the earth. Unless we're dealing with some AI bees. But then they can be also the same thing to bring justice. It just reminds me even of the cakes of Inanna that I think represent the women that are being under attack in the communities of seers and readers and oracles right now, that actually make a living possibly with their platforms. And they're doing their part some of them, the ones that are doing right, and they're being targeted as well right now. So again, we are at a time for the witch hunt. They are starting to understand that they're not just talking this stuff that these women really hold, but they think that taking down your platform will just give them more time to really just go within and become more powerful. So you might as well just let them be. They don't want me to have nothing. Oh, you talk that, oh, you use the whole universe, right? Everything is here, right? That's why you got to be able to read that energy with these words. When it's saying certain things about certain things in this text, sometimes those were vices. Those were ways to control populations. So you have to be able to discern the whole thing of what we're talking about. And especially if we're talking about a specific people at a specific time, and that time has already passed, then it's not talking to you. So then why are you relating to it in the sense as if it's talking to you? Because it said this message is for this, and that. These children at this time. So it obviously is not for you. So you have to look at it with a different eye. This is how it is. This is for me, anyways. This is how I've learned to look at the text. So again, the person was born blind. Was it a result of his own sin or those of his parents? Neither. Okay. So it's almost even talking about that masking and unmasking energy, or just even that thing of, like I said, I feel like there were people sent here to show me the way or guide me in a sense when it comes to some of these things as to getting a nation put together. And I think even funds may have been available, but I think someone used it for something else, or someone didn't give me the booklet, or you see what I'm saying, the pamphlet. You know what I'm saying? And they decided to use that with other women that might be, again, I look at as idols. And so then what? Is it that one of these guys was a jealous God, or did they not, they just didn't like idol worship because they knew what it would lead to was a whole bunch of chaos and a whole bunch of women, feminine energies using that energy and also going after the queen bee. So that's why we are talking about this idol thing. Because people don't want to take the time to fill people up with that which is within, with energy, with love, with all of these other things. We rather fill people's pockets and fill people's, closets and now I'm not saying you can't do those things, but if that's your priority, then we should get them straight. Because none of that matters at the end of the day. This is why I don't look at people. Then you automatically don't look at people for what they look like or what they have or they don't have. Right? You look at them for who they are, what they bring to the table. You value that. You're not so easy to displace something or to misuse it, right? If you know the value of it. But if you're always fighting the value of it, it's not going to depreciate. It's still going to be valuable where it is. Just somebody else is going to come up and pick it up and... Right? So I can't let somebody's profession, I can't let the way they dress, if they do buy nice things, stop me from looking at them and looking at them deeper and looking at the spirit of a person. No. So that's not what I'm saying when I say those things. I just like to, whether I have something or not, I like to deal with the core. And I like to find out for myself. And sometimes, so like as a healer, I feel like even, or having a healing energy, you're going to get hurt a lot trying to help people. But I don't know. I don't like to give up on people that I see something in. I don't know. Okay, so we'll just keep moving. So it's not like even being stupid and whatever, because I can take the hurt. I've been built, I feel, to take a certain amount of, but physically protected. and then even spin it into something that is like worth more than gold. Yeah, y'all, look at me listening to something. Okay, hold on. Was it resolve his own sins or apparent? Okay, we already read that part. Neither Yeshua answered, but to demonstrate the power of God, all of us must quickly carry out the task assigned us by the one who sent me, for there is little time left before the night falls and all works come to an end. But while I am still here in the world, I give my light. Then he spat on the ground and made mud from the spittle and soothed the mud over the blind man's eye and told him, go to wash in the pool of Siloam. The word Siloam means sent. So the man went where he was sent and washed and came back seeing. Wow. His neighbors and others who knew him as a blind beggar asked each other, is this the same fellow, that beggar? Some said yes, and some said no. It can't be the same man, they thought, but he surely looks like him. And the beggar said, I am the same man. Then they asked him how in the world he could see. What happened? And he told them, a man they called Yeshua made mud and smothered it over my eyes and told me to go to the pool of Siloam and wash off the mud. I did, and I can see. So let's talk about something. Not saying that this is the same place, but I've nicknamed this place Jerusalem. I went there, right? And, I was just chilling or whatever. That's when I recorded that other video the other day. And with the red people on it. And I was wondering, why did okay. So when I was there, I told you guys, I think I told you in that video that I think that this is Holy Land. So I took off my shoes and I was walking up the hill. And I noticed that the park, done a lot of stuff. They tore down a lot of beautiful things. I'm just so upset. I just think these things are done out of spite. I used to go there every other day. And if I'm being surveilled, you see what I'm saying? So again, when it comes to the trees of Ashereth and the peace that place gave me, and they took away all my little hiding spots and everything. But I just noticed that they stopped the flow of the spring as well, which I think is actually an actual holy, okay? But I found a little tiny spot after going up that hill with a little tiny puddle with the water still in it. And I took some of it. And I sprinkled it. I was having a headache, or it's like, as if, like I told you, I feel like sometimes I can feel when I've been visited or tampered with. So I was thinking, is it 2 glasses of wine? No, that wouldn't happen from no 2 glasses of wine, right? And I'm like, no, this is one of those headaches. So when I went there to the park, I was kind of just like in that zone. And I took the mud and some of the water and I sprinkled it on my head 3 times. And I also used some to put like underneath mine. I was just playing around because I play too much, y'all. I play entirely too much. So I put the markings under my eyes, right, with the mud. And I didn't even realize that as I'm walking back through the park, people probably looking like, what the? And I put some here. And I just sat there for a little while, you know, a couple seconds to so-called meditate. But I realized when I left that park, they told me I was there for 3 hours. I didn't even realize that. But all right, y'all. Hold on. Hold on, I'm doing something. But I'm going to stop this here and then we'll come back because it's already an hour.